In continuation of the previous video where we were seeing about solid waste management strategies, we started with the decomposition of the waste. Why it is being told that we should not use plastic or tin cans when we should not throw glass bottles. Here you can see the lifespan of the waste. Lifespan in the sense when it gets decomposed. For example, I told you about a vegetable which you keep it outside. What is the total days it will take for a total decomposition? For example, initially fresh to stale in the sense decomposition process, where the foul smell will be there and we will not use it. It will be a waste. Then again, it will come to a stage that there will not be any foul smell. It will be blackish in color. So total decomposition process will be over. Suppose if it is a more foul smell, it is getting decomposed. The n number of microorganism will be more. Then automatically the reproduction rate of the microorganism will decrease and total all the organic matter will get stabilized. So if you take a fruit, it may take 2 months or 3 months of time to complete decomposition from the fresh stage to the stale stage and again to the stabilized form, that is it may be in black in color. So if you take a plastic bottle, if you throw it on a ground, it will take 70 to 450 years to get completely decomposed according to the thickness and material of the bottle. Similarly, plastic bags, it may take around 500 to 1000 years. Tin cans, nowadays juices are coming in a tin cans, it will take around 50 years. Leather shoes, which you are worn out shoes you are throwing out, generally you just throw it in a uh, as a waste material and you will discard. So it will take around 25 to 40 years. Normal thread, sewing thread, which is being used for tailoring, it will take 3 to 4 months. You can see the thickness of the thread. That thread is very minimal in thickness. Still, it will take 3 to 4 months of time. Cotton in cigarette, it will take around 1 to 5 months of time. Not only in cigarette, even it is used in hospitals and all. It will take around 1 to 5 months of time. A rope, it will take 3 to 14 months of time. Cigarette again, 1 to 12 years of time. The material which is there in filled in the cigarette, it will take two. There is a tobacco, it will take 1 to 12 years. And further, other materials like milk packet, it will take 5 years of time. Recently, I have come across in some videos, even they are finding 30-year-old milk packet in the soil. So still it is not getting decomposed. Some of the quality of the milk packet may get varied. So it may take even around 20 years also. Nylon cloths. Nowadays, they are not fabricating only cotton material. We are using different kinds of material. So in that nylon cloth, it will take around 30 to 40 years. Sanitary napkins, children diapers. In many areas in toilets, you can see many children diapers, napkins and all. 500 to 800 years it is taking. So one option which is followed in many colleges and universities, for the sanitary napkins, they are using a small incinerator where it can be burnt then and there. Then the glass bottles, it will take 10 lakh years. So hardly we can say it doesn't decompose. Perfume bottle again 200 to 500 years. Fishing line, it is taking around 600 years. Sometimes fishers, what they will do if it is damaged, sometimes they couldn't take it back from the ocean or sea, they will leave it as it is. The right side picture, you can see one of the fish got caught in a fishing line, which is there in the water body. Then aluminum can again, it is taking around 200 years. One more picture which is showing a milk packet is what is the suggestion which is being given by the environmentalist is instead of making any plastic packet into two, normally we will cut it and we can have a two pieces. One is a bigger piece where we have a material, other one is a small piece we will be remove it out. Instead of removing it, which increases the solid waste load, where it is very difficult to find that small piece. Instead, if you are going for this kind of cutting, where we are not making it into two pieces, instead it is a one piece, just we have cut it out. So handling will be easy. That small piece, it will not go anywhere. So the handling will be easy. So here you can see the impact of improper disposal of the solid waste. The first one is tortoise, which is eating a plastic material. Second one is whale, which is caught by the solid waste matter. So these both the things threatens the life of the well-being of that particular living being. The bottom, you can see one left corner, you can see the water bodies which is being dumped with the solid waste. So again, total environment of that water body will get depleted. We cannot use it even for any other drinking purpose or any irrigation. We have to clean it. We have to invest on again cleaning of the water bodies. The right picture shows the containers where it is being thrown in a solid waste dump. Sometimes these containers are used for filling the hazardous waste also. So the right end is the air pollutant. You may think that how the air pollutant is related with the solid waste management. Again, sometimes you might have seen in the local area where they will dump all the solid waste. Even sometimes after Diwali, cracking is over, they will segregate all the material and try to fire it out. Not only that, sometimes if any bushes or there some tree unwanted material or leaves, some small trunk is there, they will try to fire it out. Actually, as per the solid waste regulation 2016, you are not supposed to put any solid waste in the other people area. For example, it's a normal mindset that what we will do if any open area is there, we will try to throw the solid waste into that open area. So that is actually prohibited as per 2016 solid waste rules. And also, you should not go for open burning of any fuel. For example, what they will do in the end of the street, if they will dump all the solid material and try to fire it off. That is also it is against the rule, and you may be fined for that particular act. So coming to the picture which I'm showing, air pollutant, what we will do when the solid waste is generation is more, or you find any cardboards or any solid waste dumped in an area, sometimes the people will tend to fire it. So that will be converted to a air pollutant. Not only that, in industry also we have one of the options like one of the treatment options like incineration process where air pollutants are being generated. So here, the next one. So this provide you a composition of the waste. So how the solid waste, if you take any domestic waste, the solid waste like a wood waste occupies the major portion, and 16.32 percentage will be the kitchen garbage. Then the next quantity is a plastic bag. Actually, we are doing a reverse process. Instead of stopping the manufacturing unit, we are trying to reduce the usage of plastic bags. In case a strong rules is there in the manufacturing process, we can reduce the quantity of waste generated. Next one is the solid plastics, and other one comes the textile, glass, and ferrous material. The maximum component or a biodegradable waste. Next one is a recyclable. Inerts doesn't belong to any of the thing. Either it is biodegradable or it doesn't reactive material. Next one is others, is in 8% composition. We cannot predict the composition, so it is said as others. So this is a regular composition of the solid waste. It may vary according to the places, urban or village or even country to country also it gets changed. Next is 5R of solid waste. Normally we have 3R principle for the solid waste. One is reduce the usage, reuse it, and recycle it. Now we have introduced a 5R principle of a solid waste. What is 5R? First one is the refusing the usage of the solid waste. Refusing the usage in the sense, for example, I'm going to a shop. shopkeeper is giving a plastic bag to carry the material which I have purchased. In that case, I started refusing that I don't want a plastic bag. So I'm just carrying my own bag and I'm using that. This is one point of refusing. The other one is if you take a refillable ink pen or a ballpoint pen, I'm just using ink pen instead of ballpoint pen. So if you take per year, if I want to purchase some 20 ink pen, I'm not going to purchase it. So I am refusing the purchase of the pen itself. Next one is the reducing. I cannot totally avoid it, but sometimes I am reducing the usage of the solid waste itself. So, for example, if I want to buy a clothing, instead of purchasing 10 sari, if I am purchasing 5 sari, it means that I am reducing the usage itself. In the purchase point itself, I am just reducing it, reusing it. Again, you can use it again and again. Actually, I told you an example of pen. That also comes under the reusing concept. I'm using the pen again and again. I'm using the possessiveness which I have again and again. For example, it may be some repaired material. I am just trying to repair it and I am using it again. For example, if a mobile, I have got some minor repair. I can, minor issue in the mobile. I can repair it and I can use it again. Sometimes what we will do, we will just sell it off and again purchase a new one. Recycling is the total product. For example, we will segregate the plastic material, we will segregate the glass material. So all those material can be segregated. Again, it can be going for a recycling process. Recycling in the sense, again melting plastic, again converting to other material. Similarly, glass, they will be melting it or they will be going for a production again, reproduction. So that is known as recycling. So in recycling also individual have a role to play. Without segregation, we cannot go for recycling. It will be very difficult. So if you are doing for a proper recycling and if you are giving it to the concerned collection system, it will be easy for them. Or else you yourself can recycle the product. For example, paper. Paper you're using for reading and again you are going for a recycling. You are selling the paper. That comes under recycling process. What they will do with the old paper? Again, you can see some people, they are manufacturing bag out of papers. So that also will happen. So these are the 5R of solid waste. Now we have made it a refuse and repair as a one of the part of the solid waste management strategies. So as an individual, we can try to incorporate this. We can try to implement in our day-to-day life, going for refusing, reducing, reusing, repairing, or recycling. The solid waste management hierarchy is most preferred one is source reduction. You have to stop buying. So automatically the production will get decreased. Nowadays, what will happen? The purchasing power of the people have got increased. Previously, if you take what is the quantity of textile which is being purchased, what is the quantity of outside food, for example, some chips packet or biscuit packet which is being purchased, which is less in the previous 10 to 20 decades. Now gradually it have been increased. So we have to reduce the source. Purchasing itself, we have to reduce. Okay, you have purchased, somehow you need it hardly. So again, you can go for a reusing process. You have to use it again and again. The next one is you can go for recycling. Recycling in the sense, as I told you earlier, you can segregate it and you can sell it to a concerned vendor where you can fetch some money also. They will be taking to the yard where a manufacturing process where can occur. They can recycle the paper, plastic, or glass material, metals, all those items are a recycling material. Even fabric, they are using it, recycling it again. So they are converting to some other product. For example, if you are giving your old clothes, it can be converted to a doormat, it can be converted to a bag. So they are converting to some other item, that is recycling. After that, Resource recovery. Once it is being discarded, it's a waste. From the waste, how you can generate some energy, generate some useful material. That is known as resource recovery. So next, the least preferred will be the incinerator and landfilling. The incineration, you have to spend some money for burning the waste. So this is the total solid waste management hierarchy, which is being preferred from a source reduction to a landfilling. So in solid waste management, the first one will be the collection from our household. Then it will be transported by using trucks or local vehicles. Then there will be a yard where the segregation is being done. Next is the treatment and disposal. Uh, as we see in the solid waste, these are the step-by-step process. But still, sometimes we lag in segregation, we lag in treatment. Directly we will send for disposal. That is also happening in many of the corporations or many of the villages where the solid waste is being collected. So it's a normal, we will see two kinds of colors of the bin. The green color, it may be, this is the collection. From collection, a green is for organic waste or wet waste. Blue color is for a dry waste or inorganic waste. In our household also, you can see this kind of waste segregation area. Next is biomedical waste. In biomedical waste, we don't use two color. Instead, we will be going for a four color. In any of the hospitals, you can see this kind of waste segregation area. One is they will be using it for chemicals. All the medicines, ointments, which has been expired, are partly used by the patient. They can use it over here. The chemical waste will be dumping in a separate area. Then human and animal anatomical waste. As I told you, some body parts they will be removing it, or some blood stains will be there, so that will be in this yellow color bin. The solid waste or any sharp waste items can be there in a blue color bin. Red color bin will be a plastic waste. So this color segregation, it is different for a household and it is different for a hospitals. So this is the area where the biomedical waste is being generated. There they have a four different colors of bin which is being segregated. So you can see the recycling of the waste in two different types. One is NGO, non-government organization, or the people who involve themselves in the social activity. They segregate the waste. That you can see it in a right hand. Left hand is a self-employed people. What they will do, they will be collecting the solid waste in the streets and they will be paying a minimal amount to the household. Then again, they will be taking to a vendor where they can fetch money. They can go for their daily livelihood out of it. So these are informal recycling or waste segregation system. So in case of collection, in the previous one, when I am talking to one municipal corporation people, what they told is in their municipal corporation, they have more than 25 to 30 people working as a self-employed and they are segregating the waste. What they will do in the yard, they will go and segregate the waste. Whatever they are collecting, they will take it for a recycling system. Once they are taking it for the recycling process, the total volume of waste generated will get reduced. When the volume is getting reduced, it is easy for the corporation to handle. So indirectly, they are saying that all these 30 people who are being self-employed and they are that rack pickers, we call it them as a rack pickers. They pick the all the waste materials segregated. Even in your roadside, you can see this kind of people who were collecting the plastic and glass bottles, which they are sell it for their daily livelihood. So these are the people who indirectly help in a solid waste management area. So you can see different kind of vehicle which is being used for a collection. So the first one, it is not been, we have a bin, but it is not been properly taken care or managed. So you can see the spilling of waste under the bin. The next one is we have a collection vehicle where it will be going to door steps and it will be collecting the waste from a individual household. Then Here, third picture, you can see the separation of from a small vehicle, they are taking to a bigger vehicle. In the streets, we will have a small container which have a wheel for the movement of that small container. It can be taken by a human and it is being stored in a larger size vehicle. In bottom pic, you can see the color of the vehicle which is being painted, where blue color and green color is there. Green color, they will empty the organic waste. In blue color, they will be emptying the inorganic waste, where it will be easy for them to handle. Next one, you see a picture of a vehicle where it is been handling the bin. So it is automated vehicle where the small bin have been handled by a truck. So emptying is done automatically by using the vehicle. So these are some of the collection system where you can see. So here this kind of rickshaw is also employed to collect the waste material. Here, unloading of the vehicle is being done in a solid waste dump site. Here also at the bottom also you can see a vehicle where the unloading is being done. And this is the segregation of the waste. I told you about rag pickers who volunteer themselves for the segregation and have their livelihood out of it. So this is the segregation which is happening in an industry. The left end is a machine where it will segregate the solid waste based on the size of the particles. Based on the size of the particles, it will get segregated. So handling will be easy. So here two picture, it shows the how in industry the segregation is being done. So now we have collected the solid waste. We have seen about the sources. We have collected the solid waste. Now coming to the work of municipal corporation, after collecting, they have to go for separation and they have to go for a treatment option. In the separation, they have to go for recyclables. I told you recyclables, sometimes they will have a segregation area or workshed where the segregation of all the useful material is being done. Useful in the sense, sometimes it may be a cardboard, sometimes it may be plastics and papers, all those things will be segregated, which is a recyclable one. Then coming to wet organics, all the organic material have to be segregated separately. Their treatment process is separate, like composting, anaerobic digestion, and fermentation. In dry organics, they will be going for a incineration, gasification, and RDF pellets. So in composting, the main concept is the organic matter will be decomposed by the soil bacteria, fungi, and protozoa. Sometimes the black worms will also be used. Sometimes soldier flies will also be used for composting process. You might have heard about vermicomposting also. In vermicomposting process, they will be using the worms for a decomposition process. So the raw organic matter, which is being taken care by microorganism in presence of oxygen, it will be converting to a compost. Here is the organic matter which you can see. It is being converted to a compost. You can see the black color stabilized matter, which can be used as a fertilizer for agricultural plots. So here you can see anaerobic digestion process. As the name implies, in anaerobic digestion, we don't have any aerobic microorganism which depends upon oxygen. Or in turn, I can say that here the oxygen requirement is zero. One best example of that anaerobic digestion process is our septic tank. In septic tank also, they are going for an anaerobic digestion. Here you can have a see the tank, where in the tank it is a closed chamber. The live picture is shown in the left side. Here we have a the inlet of the waste will be in this area. So the solid waste will be grinded, it will be in a semi-solid form and it will be taken to this digester. In the digester, it will be fed and the mixing will happen. Here will be a sludge zone. Sludge will get decomposed in this area. When there is a decomposition process, the biogas will get generated. It is shown in a yellow in color. Here we have a biogas and the stabilized organic matter will be present in this area. Okay. So that will be this brown color one is a treated effluent which will be taken out. Here we have a high pressure valve to maintain the biogas. Here we have an accessible hole where we can access this total tank. Here for a protection, the tank is provided with the insulating material and there is a cover is provided to the tank. So overall what is happening in this tank is there is an anaerobic digestion. The output of the anaerobic digestion will be in the form of a stabilized liquid and the biogas. So the biogas will be collected separately. This is one of the treatment process. In the beginning itself, I told you there is no specific treatment process. The treatment process will vary according to the requirement. This particular area, they are going for an anaerobic digestion process. So next one is other kind of treatment where they are going for a fermentation process. In the fermentation process, we have a biomass. Biomass is nothing but the organic matter. We have a concrete digester system. Here, from the biomass or the organic matter, we will have a liquid which is coming out. That liquid is recirculated, which is shown in blue in color. That liquid is sprinkled over the organic matter where to maintain a proper moisture content. This is about the tank, concrete tank where the organic matter is present and this blue color line show you the liquid where it is being sprinkled to maintain the moisture content. Then here we have a electricity generated out of this biogas. Here you can see the biogas is coming out yellow in color and here we have a generator used for a generator and again it is converted to a flare. So in total fermentation process the biogas and it is being converted to a heat energy. So in incineration process, they will be maintaining a temperature of more than 1200 degrees centigrade. All the municipal solid waste will be taken to an incinerator to convert it into ash. Maximum in a country like India, in general domestic waste, we are not taking to an incinerator. The reason is to maintain 1200 degrees centigrade of temperature, the cost involvement is high. So they are not going for a incineration type of thing. But where the incineration is used is a biomedical waste. Even in India, they are using incineration to handle the biomedical waste. In the biomedical waste, what they are doing is, it has been handled by a private party. They will collect all the waste from the hospitals and it is being taken to an incinerator because it contains pathogens. It contains easily the disease may get spread. So to prevent that, it is burnt at higher temperature. Finally, the end product of incinerator will be ash and the gas pollutant, air pollutant will be there. So you can see in this picture, the air is being taken inside or it is fed with air. The reason to provide air in the incinerator is to enhance the fuel. To enhance the fuel, they are taking the air. In the incinerator, it will be burnt at a higher temperature. And after that, from the incinerator, the waste will be taken to the ash. And in the top, the air pollutant will be produced. That air pollutant is taken to air filters. Here, the pollutant which is present in the air will get filtered. From the filtration unit also some ash will be produced that is taken separately. From the filter it will be taken to a chimney. Here if you take the temperature of the air pollutant, it is higher. So from that heat, they may try to generate the electricity. Here, the output or the product will be in the form of a useful product will be in the form of electricity, and the pollutant will be there. The pollutant, air pollutant have to be filtered separately. And here we have a chimney to leave the air pollutant. Then again, the ash have to be handled in a proper way. So if you take 100 kg of waste, all the 100 kg will not become zero after even after incineration. So there will be a 5% of a residue will be left in the form of a ash. So that residue have to be handled separately. So the next process which we are going to see is a pyrolysis. In the pyrolysis process, the one major difference between the pyrolysis and the incineration process is both are using uh, thermal energy for converting waste to a other product. But the difference here in pyrolysis is the temperature used in pyrolysis process is 400 degrees centigrade. According to the waste generated, they will be choosing either to go for pyrolysis or incineration. Suppose if your waste generation contains some fats or any oil related item, we can go for pyrolysis process. Pyrolysis is mostly preferred in industrial sectors. So pyrolysis is done in the absence of oxygen. Previously, you can see the air has been inoculated in the incineration process, but here they will avoid the oxygen. So in the absence of oxygen, in a low temperature compared to incineration process, we will be going for pyrolysis. The end product we will be having in the form of a char and the bio oil. The output product will be in the form of a bio oil. But you compare to incineration process, we will be having a ash and the gases will be produced. Here we have a chamber. You can see this chamber. In this chamber, the feedstock is nothing but the solid waste is being inserted. The yellow in color it is being shown. In the burner, the burning will be happening, but we are not providing any oxygen to this burning process. Here, after the reaction is done, the finally we will be collecting in a cyclone separator. The cyclone separator, there will be a char collection will be there. Then again, it will be taken to a quenching system. In the quenched liquid, it will be converted to a bio oil. The bio oil can be stored in a separate area. So, to take care of the solid waste, either we can go for a pyrolysis, incineration, or a composting process can be preferred. According to the raw material, it will be done. So next one is the gasification process, where the solid waste is converted to synergy gases. Synergy gases, we have the gases of high fuel value will be there. So the collected here we have a uh, solid waste material which is being combusted. Here we have a biomass. That biomass is taken in a pyrolysis area. The combustion is happening. Here the two output will be there. Again, there will be a biochar or it may be a synergy gases to the engine will be there. There will be a exhaust also. The polluted air will be taken out in a exhaust. Here soot is nothing but ash which is being produced in a this pyrolysis chamber. So the ash will be collected in a separately. You can collect gases, synergy gases separately. Exhaust will be collected separately. And here we can collect the biochar also in a separate area. Next is RDF pellet. RDF pellet is refuse driven fuel pellet. Refuse driven fuel pellet. So why it is being practiced is, for example, if you have any waste, for example, cow dung is there, or else if you have any timber waste is there, in the timber industry, timber waste is there. You are seeing the calorific value of the item is good. The calorific value is good in the sense you can easily burn that particular waste material. On the other hand, we need enormous quantity of heat generated in an industrial sector. For example, for initiate that incineration process or boilers, we want the heat. Here in the waste, we find the calorific value. So we are trying to convert it into a pellet where that pellet will burn like wood. We are converting a artificial wood, or we can say that the waste material is converted to a burnable material. So this is a refuse or a waste material which is tried as a fuel, which is converted to a fuel, that is refuse driven fuel pellet. Pellet, in the sense, it will be looking bigger than the tablets. Some 5 times, 6 times, if you imagine how the if the tablet size is similar kind, it will be produced. So it will be used as a raw material for burning any boilers or incinerators. They will be using it to enhance the combustion process. It will be useful. So far we have seen what are all the methods where the waste can be converted to energy. We have seen like it can be converted to a gases, it can be converted to a fuel, or it may be converted to some pellets, or it may be converted to a fertilizer. So far we have dealt with the treatment options where the solid waste can be effectively converted to a other form, which is in a useful form. Or we can say that waste to energy. Waste have been converted to some form of energy. Either it may be a fuel, or it may be a gases, or it may be a solid, or it may be a fertilizer. Now we are coming to a disposal of the waste. The disposal of the waste may be in the form of a landfill. Landfill, in the sense, what we are doing is we are finding a particular zone or a land area where the excavation is being done and the soil material are being removed. We call this as a sanitary landfill, where we will take all the precaution to prevent the leachate or any harmful thing is being avoided. So we call it as a sanitary landfill. The first one is we are excavating the soil material. We are covering it with the lining material. You can see in the first picture, some lining material it is being covered so that the leachate will not be leachate is a liquid matter which is coming out of the solid when it is getting decomposed. For example, if you take a tomato, when it getting decomposed, you can see a liquid which is coming out. It is known as a leachate. That leachate, it will not get penetrated into the soil when you are providing a liner. The liner material may be in the form of a bentonite clay, or sometimes it may be covered with the plastic material. Here the lining is being provided. After the lining is being provided, the waste materials are placed in a layer. For example, solid waste, a layer is being formed, then it is getting compacted. After the compaction is over, a layer of soil is being provided. When the soil and the alternate layer of the solid waste is being provided, after that what they will do, they will cover it with the soil once again. I have seen some of the landfill site where you cannot differentiate whether it is a soil or it is a landfill site, because everything will be covered and finally it will be covered with the soil also. So you will not find any differences. The one thing which have to be taken care in the landfill site is, one is gas production will be there. The solid waste which we are dumping is the organic waste, where the gas production will be there. That gas production have to be taken care. The next one is the leachate. The proper lining have to be done and the leachate have to be taken care. And one more problem which the officials are facing in the landfill site is the burrowing animals. The burrowing animals will remove the solid waste material and the lining. They will disturb all those things. That will be a problem. Sometimes the people will object due to flies and odor problem. So that also have to be taken care. So these issues have to be taken care in a landfill site. And finally, it can be used for some other purpose. For example, all the covering is over. Finally, the landfill is being closed. It can be used for a playground. It can be used for a parking lot. It can be used for some parks. There is no need that you have to waste that land. After all the landfill is over, you can use that land. But the one issue in this usage of landfill site is you cannot go for a high-rise building. Even you can construct a building with only ground floor, you cannot load much because the soil will have a safe bearing capacity, but the waste will not have any safe bearing capacity, and the compaction will be there, decomposition will be there for years and years. So you cannot provide more load on the building. In one of the film also they have shown that it was an abandoned lake which is being used for a landfill area, and there they try to construct for a high rise building. In that high rise building nearby there will be like a piling, hammering will be done. So total building will get collapsed due to the small vibration which is happen in the surrounding. So it means that you cannot put a heavy load on that particular buildings. So that is the problem which is being faced in the landfill site. You can reuse the area, but the load you cannot impose heavy load over the landfill area. So improper disposing in the water bodies. In water bodies, you can see that here there are some waste which is being dumped in the ocean. Here you can see even the holy rivers are being filled with the waste. So you can see the heap of solid waste which is being dumped, and you can see the scenario after a rain also. The total area, this shows the improper management of the solid waste where the disposing is not done properly. We are speaking about a landfill, how it have to be handled and all those things. So all these become vain in this kind of structures. So far we have seen about totally municipal solid waste management, sources and type, treatment option, how it should be disposed also we have seen. The next one which is not being taken care properly is fecal sludge management. So here again we should have a proper access to toilet, then the collection should be there, then conveyance have to be made in a proper way, then the treatment and disposal. So there are some of the initiatives which is taken by the central government to have a proper access to toilet and to properly manage the fecal sludge. First one is they thought about Clean India, and in the year 2014 it was initiated, and it was told that in the 5 year of span in 2019, every human being in India should have access to toilet. So many people were left without home, so they don't have a proper access to toilet. They will defecate in an open area. So the huge amount of fund was allocated to prevent or to eradicate the open defecation. But still now 100% it has not been. We can say that it has not been properly achieved. Still we can see few people who was doing open defecation. The solid waste management rules is also there. As I told you earlier, open burning should be prohibited. And it also says that when you have to desludge the septic tank also. Some of the challenges which is being faced also we can discuss in this system. First one is on-site sanitation. We have a septic tank. If you see about septic tank, in some of the countries, what they are having is they have a proper design of a septic tank. So everybody cannot construct a septic tank like any other construction people or a consultant cannot construct a septic tank. They should have a license for constructing of a septic tank. But in our country like India, we don't follow a specific dimension of the septic tank, and it has not been constructed by a licensed people also. We don't have such things. So the right side indicates a two-chambered septic tank where we have a sludge which is settled at the bottom of the tank, and here we have a liquid. So I'll say from the beginning so you can understand. From our toilet, Western closet or whatever it is, or Indian closet, the waste will be taken to the inlet. And here we have a T junction. This provision of the T junction is to prevent this scum to move into the inlet area. Okay. So this directly it will be taken to this portion. Here we have a settled sludge. Here decomposition will happen. Here the floating matter will be there. So here floating matter will be there. Sludge will be settling down. Treated waste will be here. So it will be taken to a next sample. Here we have an outlet where it carries only the treated wastewater. Okay. So we have a manhole to cover the septic tank. Sometime if you want to see the inspection, you want to inspect it, you can inspect it. And we will be having a gas vent. You can see the gas vent which is being protected by a cowl. The reason to provide the gas vent is it's a decomposition process, anaerobic decomposition process in the absence of aerobic microorganism or in the absence of oxygen, the anaerobic microorganism can able to decompose the organic matter. So here the gases will be produced. We have a gas vent. If you observe in all your homes, near to septic tank, a gas vent will be there, which will allow the gas to pass through it and it will be taken to the atmosphere. So we have an inlet, we have an outlet, we have a manhole, gas vent. The sludge will be settled at the bottom. The sludge, as per the regulation, we have to remove the sludge once in 3 years. Desludging have to be done for an efficient treatment process. This is a treatment process. This is only one of the on-site treatment process which has been available. On-site in the sense immediately after the waste is being produced, it is being treated. The left side is the actual septic tank where it has been constructed as a double chamber, and here the soak pit is also interconnected. I'll show you some pic. So this is a soak pit. In the soak pit, it allows the water to infiltrate into that chamber and only the water will be coming out. Okay. So the top view here we have a picture which shows the septic tank and the soak pit. The soak pit will be a percolation system where at the bottom also brick bath will be there and in the sides also it will allow the wastewater to get percolated. So finally what we are doing, treated wastewater, again it will be taken to a surrounding area, that is it will be absorbed by the soil. Sometimes if the groundwater level is high, it may penetrate to the groundwater also. So I have shown you a difference of two pics where the first one show how you should not do desludging. Desludging in the sense removing of septic tank material from the tank. So here the human labor is being used. They are into the septic tank to remove the waste material. So we should not use human labors for handling the human excreta. So it should not be done. And one more danger is also there. Suppose if the methane gas which is present in the septic tank chamber is not been properly released, by unknowingly if they get into the chamber directly, it may cause up to death. So such kind of death is also happening in and around the world. So the right side is a proper precaution they are taking. You can see the gloves, you can see the shoes, and they are using pumps for cleaning of the septic tank. So this is a scenario you might not have been visualized in your day-to-day life. You might have seen this septic tank cleaning vehicle. They will pump the septic tank and take the sludge into this tank. Finally, we don't have proper disposal area. So they are trying to dispose in the land, open area they are disposing. You can see the vehicle is standing above the bridge, where underneath the bridge you have a water body. It is trying to dispose the wastewater into the water body. Here also it is disposing the waste into the sludge into the small nalla or a small stream it is trying to dispose it. So here all these pictures shows the improper disposal of the septage. So we have sludge drying beds. So this is a treatment option. As we have several treatment option of the solid waste, we have several treatment option for the fecal sludge also. So from the septic tank, previous one I showed you how it should not be done. So these are all the ways we should not handle the or we should not dispose the waste. So here the tanker lorry desludge the waste into a tank. There we have a proper lining in the tank, and here it will be collecting the liquid waste and the drainage is separately provided. Here we have a sludge drying beds where the solid waste after this process is over is taken to the drying beds and the sludge cakes are being formed. Here, what we will be doing with this sludge cakes is we can go for a co-composting process. In the co-composting process, we can combine with the domestic waste and we can make the manure out of it. So it has some fertilizer value that can be used in an effective way. The problem with the sludge drying beds is suppose if it is a rainy season or it is a cold country, we cannot go for drying the bed. We have to use some equipments or heaters to dry the sludge. So the next one is the reed bed technology. In the reed bed technology, we will have the same process, desludging of the sludge. We have a grit chamber to remove some of the grits. And after that, we are going for a plantation process. Here, some of the plants have been produced. So that plant can be used for a fodder crops. We cannot go for eating that crops. We can go for like a fodder crops. We can use it for some other purpose. But why we are not using the crops for consuming the crops is it may have some pathogens. The leaves may touch the ground. It may have some pathogens. So we are not going for this kind of consuming the products from the reed bed. So this kind of reed bed technology we have implemented in our own campus, where the organic waste from the kitchen all collected and it is being taken to a system. So this is the next method. Already we have seen two different methods where the sludge drying beds and the reed bed system are there. Next one is the geotubes. In geotubes, I can say that it is not a successful system. You can see a bag. It is a plastic bag which has a minute pores in it. Here we can see concrete bedding. This geotube will be filled with the fecal sludge and the liquid will get penetrated outside. Here you can see the liquid from the fecal sludge gets penetrated and it will be left for in the bag for about 45 to 50 days where it is getting converted to a compost. Why I told it is a failure system is once for all the treatment is over, you have to tear the bag and you have to remove the sludge. The bag cost is more than 10,000 rupees for each and every batch of the treatment process. We cannot spend the money, so that this geotube system is not so effective. So this is one of the case study which we are going to see is Devanahalli, which is present in Karnataka. What they have did is first they have a screening process. So in this particular area, they have shown that effective treatment option for a fecal sludge. Screening will be there where unwanted material will get screened. Then it will be taken to an anaerobic baffled reactor with filter. So here anaerobic treatment process will be done. From there, it will be taken to a planted gravel filter. Here, the treated water alone, it will be used for a irrigation purpose. Then after screening, it will be the solid matter will be taken to this is for a liquid treatment. Again, the solid waste will contain 95% of liquid, only 5% of the solid will be there. So here it will be taken to a solid where a biogas digester will be there. The biogas will be generated from a fecal sludge and it will be taken for a cooking purpose. Then from the biogas digester, we will be having an anaerobic stabilization tank. From the anaerobic stabilization tank, it will be taken to a sludge drying beds. From the sludge drying beds, it will be taken for a manure. I told you in the first pic we have discussed that the sludge drying beds, it contains nutrients which can be used for a manure. And again, a liquid from a sludge drying beds will be taken to a percolation pit. So this is one model or one case study where they have used a system to treat the fecal sludge. So finally, from this video, the takeaway is how we can segregate at the source, how we can do composting, how you can minimize the waste production as an individual, how you can follow 5R cycle, you can reduce or reuse or repair, and how you can contribute to the solid waste management as a takeaway. I hope you have some introduction about the solid waste management. It is not only a domain specific. Each and every individual have to know what we are doing and what is a dead end. Generally, we prefer to go for a circular economy. Circular economy in the sense, one product should be a raw material of other product. It have to be go in a cycle. It should not stop anyway. Okay, it's the end product should not be stopped. We have to go for a cycling item. For example, the end product stopped, we can say it in a landfill. Landfill, we have stopped the product. For example, ash, if it is used for some other purpose, then there is a circular economy. Ash can be used for the production of some concrete material, paver blocks. If you are using it, it means that the circular economy. In overall, we prefer circular economy instead of that the waste product it is being wasted for and it is not being used in an effective manner. I hope I have given some specific limelight on a particular topic. Thank you for your patience and hearing this particular session. Thank you, Anand.